Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back. For those of you who are new, welcome, and I hope you like what you find here. These are going to be your general readings for the month of July. I do want to mention again, like I did in my last mid-month reading, that the Uranus 7-year projections are available for you. Tremendous amount of information coming through. That information is down below for you. And these readings in July are general, so if they don't make sense to you, listen to your other signs. I don't want to keep this intro too long. Keep in mind that sometimes certain things will make sense to you right away, and sometimes none of it will make sense to you right away. From what I gather from hearing from you, it almost always makes sense to you at the end of the month or the beginning of next month. So do listen to it again. If it doesn't make sense to you, I do want to stress that I don't know what it is, but in the month of July, there's this incredible feeling of release. So many of you will feel that. You may have been going through it and feeling it already, but there's a tremendous amount of energy. I feel like it's trying to push through us, which will catapult many of us forward into various new ways and various new beginnings. So overall, it feels very exciting. It might be scary for some of you because the newness also represents not knowing what's to come. So there might be a lot of surprises too. But generally speaking, there is this uplifted feeling of excitement, but also I don't know what's going to happen. And not because it's bad, but because it's I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what waits for me at the end of this journey, whatever that is. So do keep in mind that this is general. For private session, of course, that information is down below for you. Thank you so much for liking, for sharing, for subscribing. If you wish to comment how this connects with you, I read every single one of them. Please do. I would love that. And above all, whoever you are and you have any birthdays in July, happy birthday to you. And have a great month of July, and I will see you soon. Take care. Hello, beautiful Leos. Thank you so much for coming back. Happy birthday for those of you who are celebrating birthdays in July. If I look down a little bit, it's because my glasses tend to glare. So that's why I'm looking down a little bit. And if my glasses do glare, my apologies. All right, let's start off with some channeled messages. Let me just take a deep breath. The feeling I get that there is a sense of excitement because something new is about to begin. For some of you, I see a sign of pregnancy. This can mean welcoming a brand new child or children to a home, to the world. And for some of you, it's birthing a new idea or a new project. Now, the month of August is coming up, so for some of you this is going to connect in August, or you'll know what this is about in August, or this birth so to speak is going to transpire in August for some of you. But some of you do have August birthdays as well. Actually, you have quite a bit of August in there. So that's the feeling I get. The feeling of excitement is very much there, but there's also a feeling of needing to do some preliminary work in order to get where you're going. Now, I just heard the word writing. So for some of you, this is connecting to the words writing, writing poetry, writing books, writing scripts, writing manuals, writing. It connects to writing. For others of you, it's around the idea of construction, but it isn't necessarily building construction. Yes, that can be so, but it is about constructing something or building something in order to withstand its weight in gold. And that is literally the word that came to me. That stand its weight in gold. Okay, look up what that means. I'm gonna have to look up what that phrase means. Let me just see if there's anything else that I'm seeing and feeling. For some of you, you have been carrying a lot of burdens for a very long time, and for some of you, I'm supposed to say it goes back as far as being karmic, so other lifetimes. Point is that you are, or many of you are, choosing to no longer carry that burden, or you will start to resist the burdens you have been carrying. And for some of you, this simply means that you drop something that you have been committed to for quite some time, and so it has to land on its own feet, or you're just going to say, no more, I'm not doing this any longer, it's too heavy of a burden for me to carry. So that can mean a situation, it can mean a relationship, can mean a project, it could be something you're doing at work, it could virtually be anything, but there is a sense of dropping something that you have been carrying Some of it could be caring for other people for quite some time and just choosing to no longer do that. The numbers around you are interesting because you have double 2, which is always choices, decisions. It is about, I also want to say, contradicting emotions. So it's what's coming through. Contradicting emotions. So you may feel love and hate, you may feel anger, and you may feel excitement. There seems to be this black and white feeling connecting to this. Let me just see what else I'm getting. Chance to start something new, or something again. And so some of you will have a chance to start something new or start something again. This is something you have chosen to leave behind before, or for whatever reason the word again is coming up. I feel a lot of it has to do with finances. So for many of you this will be connected to your career. For some of you this will be personal relationships, also relationships at work as well. I also see some of you being at odds with somebody else and standing like this, and I hear family situations. So some of you may have a family situation potentially in the month of July or August that you will be very resistant to. There's resistance there. I also saw that you were charging away from something, but at the same time you were charging towards something. So it doesn't feel to me like you're running away from something, but you're definitely choosing to move on from one area rather quickly, I might say, because you are charging off somewhere else. This could be something as simple as you deciding to quit your job because something else has come up, and all of a sudden you got to move and you got to move forward. So is it a hasty situation? No, not hasty decision per se. For some of you, this will be a decision that you have been waiting a long time to make, but it may come to pass rather quickly. So there's a again, the word finances are connected to it. I have no idea what I'm talking about. So this is going to make sense to you at some point or not. So that is what I saw. So I don't have any nostalgia with this feeling of charging away from something. I also felt, they said, don't forget to balance both worlds. So this is interesting because, well, what does that mean? It means that you will be holding either 2 positions, 2 points of view. You will have 2 different things you will have to take care of. You're very spiritual, but they're also very physical. There's a message here to make sure that you balance both worlds, and both worlds is the term that I'm supposed to use. I also saw that you were trying to help people either see something or understand something. And then I heard the words, follow your dreams. So for some of you, this is, you're in a position where you are trying to help your colleagues understand or see something about a certain situation. You may be a natural born healer that is trying to I want to say the word convey certain theories that you feel work and you want them on your board. This is this could be a situation where at work you feel you are onto something that's fundamentally really potentially really big or really good, and you're trying to get other people on board. This can also be financially speaking. You may have a project that you are heavily involved in or invested in, and you are trying to get other people on board with you or on the project. So that's some of the circumstances that are coming forward. Yes, important. Now let me just see. I also saw some of you golfing. So obviously this is a time of year where, weather is nicer for the most part. But when I saw this, it's because, first and foremost, for some of you, if you do golf or if you play any sports that requires a lot of standing, lower back, particularly left side, I just got a little kink. So just watch your back. And if you are not used to playing golf, watch your back, because some of you will also be learning a new skill. So you may be learning how to play golf, or you may be learning some other skill that will require you to use your back, or it's heavy on your back. So it's important for you to keep that in mind. Whoever you are, it'll make sense to you. Some of you are moving back. So this is moving back home, moving back to a residence you've been with before, moving back to your hometown, moving back to your home country, moving back to the same position. Why would you do that? I don't know. Because you like it. So there's a component here of some of you moving back, whatever that is. Now, I did see the number 4 around you, which is double 2 is a 4. So this is all about, I want to say, conditions in your life, but I'm talking about structures. I'm talking about fundamental. I feel a lot of it has to do with money. So it will be work or career oriented or physical stuff oriented rather than relationship, but obviously relationship too. Changes. I saw there are people, some of you are going through changes, but yes, if you are starting something new and if you're charging away from something and towards something, that will definitely represent a change for you. So 2 following cards are animal cards. The first card you have is the card called Cheetah. So this is an energy that represents to me being driven, particularly in your career, with your gut, with your creativity, with passion. I also feel that a lot of you carry some sort of inner wisdom, and actually I have the owl here, but the way it's being presented to me, I'm getting a certain message where you need to run away with it. You need to charge forward with it. You need to be more confident with it. This could be, let me just see what I can see here. You may have a better knowledge on how to do something, and it is in your career or in your job, and you are urged to charge forward with it. This is also you representing certain idea to somebody that is perhaps in a financially connected part of your life, which means work, generally speaking, passions, but it is about charging forward with something you are very passionate about, but also something you are very, I want to say the word wise about. For some of you, you have the ability to, sorry about that, it seems my camera is going wonky. So yes, the owl is also representing you have an ability to see certain things from various perspectives. And it is important for you to evoke that knowledge or evoke or use that understanding in order to help somebody with something or to help something with your career, or perhaps to use your skills to move forward with a certain career. That is being highlighted as well. Now, I did see some of you charging towards something new, so perhaps this is actually what this is talking about. Now, when I asked about specifics, some of the things that you might be dealing with over the next little while, particularly starting in July, you have the 3 of Swords, you have 2 of Wands, and you also have the Star. So for those of you who do know me, you know I don't read cards. For those of you who don't know me, I don't really read cards traditional way. It's just my gift. So I don't necessarily see 3 of Swords here as heartbreak. I don't see that. However, I do, right away when I got the card, I felt that there was a lot of disappointment here. So for some of you, and particularly some of your rejection, so for some of you, you may be dealing or have been dealing with some sort of disappointment or rejection around a career. Some of you may had quite a substantial changes in that area, particularly when it comes to work area in the last little while, particularly those of you I'm hearing born in August, not all, but particularly, so this will make sense for you to somebody, where you had to deal with something that was drastic according to you and might have been painful to you on some level. Yes, this can also mean relationships, absolutely. So it's saying to me that the 2 of Wands to me basically says, the way I see it, is that because of what has transpired, you are choosing to move on to a different path. So you may be in a position of trying to figure out where to take your relationship or where to take your work. This could be, or where to your health. I'm not getting health here. It's to do with a responsibility. It's responsibility you have towards yourself, but also responsibility you carry for and towards others. But there seems to be some break that's either happening or about to happen, but I feel it's in the past. And you are now choosing to move forward. And I want to say this is more traditionally connected to career goals, but again, it can be relationships. The Star to me symbolizes, the Star comes after the Tower. So I can see that in your background, some things were shaken and world around you has changed, or things in your world have substantially changed. But it seems like in the month of July and August, or some August, there's going to be almost like a revival. You will feel free. And I want to say the words once again. So perhaps you're going through something. The word transition comes in, and you might be transitioning to a different career altogether. You might be transitioning from a relationship that ended a while ago. But there seems to be some disappointment stemming from your past. Point is, there are choices and decisions for you to make when it comes to career, and for some of your relationships. And for some of you, it's health. And I feel in July, it's like you will be scouting to see where you want to go next. Will you decide in July? And possibly, but I'm feeling you're looking at different choices and decisions. At the end of the day, renewal. There's an emotional rebalance. Again, the word there's an emotional rebalance. There's a sense of feeling new. There's a sense of feeling freedom. Free is really the word I really want to say. But I think I did talk about releasing, didn't I, at the very beginning, and starting something new. And last but not least, you have the card called Chop Wood. So why is this card showing up? Because I asked, what are some of the things that they need to focus on? And particularly in the area of work, the idea of doing the boring, mundane, menial work is something we don't generally tend to love, but it seems the month of July, and I'm being drawn to August, it is important to tend to small details. So if you are transitioning from one place to another, or from one person to another, or from one situation to another, it's very important for you to pay attention to small details. If this is you transitioning from a work situation and you're moving on to somewhere new, it's very important to pay attention to small details. If you are working on a project, particularly one where you are trying to bring other people on board with you, it's very important that you pay attention to the little details. And particularly in those situations, you want to make sure you don't lose important pieces, because somehow it's going to come back to you. So this is a very, very, very specific message. The other feelings that I'm getting here is that this is also a time for you to step it up. It's a time for you to move into perhaps territories where you might have been frightened to go before. I feel like you're being pushed a little bit more towards the edge. When we are on the edge, things are often very scary. But the message here is, come to the edge and face your fears. If you're choosing to move on, sometimes moving forward, there may be lots unknown, and needing to face that is very important. I also feel that you are ultimately moving to a place where you're going to feel so much more in tune, and in tune with you, yes, but also much more self-reliant. I'm looking at an emperor. Emperor is also the number 4. That is the number of cards, or the number from the cards is also number 4. So there's a lot of stability here that's happening. And I feel many of you are moving towards much stable ground. I pulled 2 runes for you. And basically the first rune talks about breakthrough and transformation. So definitely a lot of breakthrough and transformations, but it also talks about making sure that nothing happens overnight. So you are patient, very important. You also have the rune of harvest, and harvest is all about harvest. Yeah, it's having the fruit from the labor you have done for so long, and probably very, very hard labor, and finally coming to fruition. For some of you, you may see the fruit of your labor year from now, but there's a feeling here indicated that you are about to strike big for some of you, and that's a really good thing. Sorry about that. I have no idea what's happening with my camera. It just stops. It's just like I freeze. So I think that's what I want to just send. Let's just done. It's done. I think I'm done. All right. So I hope this was helpful. If it wasn't, listen to it at the end of the month or beginning of August, because generally speaking, these things don't make sense at the very beginning. Then they don't make sense to me because I have no idea what I'm talking about half the time. So if it does make sense and if you would like to comment, I would love to read them. I always do. Of course, for private sessions, how this looks in your life, that information is down below for you. And listen to your other signs, of course, because they may give you a little bit more information. And until August, I wish you best of luck and enjoy your summer, or if you are in a summer countries and summer regions. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.